selamat pagi. Selamat datang Alisa, Aisyah, Batrisha, Ifrah, Intan, Melissa, Abdullah, Namia, Emma, Taufik dan juga Umar. Selamat pagi dan harapnya semua dah mendapat rehat yang cukup lah tadi antara pukul 10 sampai 10:30 tadi ya. Sempatlah nak menjamah apa-apa makanan, rehat sementara untuk lapik perut sebelum kita lunch nanti kan. Okey, sebentar. Saya melihat di dalam Google Meet sekarang ada 14 orang. Oh, banyaknya orang dalam pedek. Ada 17 orang. Maknanya ada yang tak masuk Google Meet ni. Mungkin on the way nak masuk. So, kita start dululah. So, today we are going to discuss about a new chapter, transportation. These are the three questions that these are the two questions that we are going to discuss today. First, we will take a look at the transport system in different organisms and the components and constituents of transport system in human. If we have the time, we will take a look at the constituent of blood groups in humans. Okay. So, on Wednesday on Tuesday, I've given you a link to a video. Video ni nampaknya tak boleh dibuka ya kalau student pace ya. So, hari ni saya akan buka video ni. So, based on the video, please observe, can you identify the main difference between simple and complex organism that justify why complex organisms require a specific and complex transport system? And what are the importance of transport system in organisms? Okay, sekejap ya. Saya share tab ni. Bila saya play video ni, saya akan mute saya punya microphone so that you can focus on the text and the content of the video.
Imagine if we took a couple of months for the oxygen we breathe to reach our cells. Well, if we relied on diffusion alone for oxygen to get to the tips of our toes, it would take about this long. By this time, our cells would have died. This is why large multicellular organisms like plants and animals have evolved specialized exchange surfaces like lungs, gills, digestive systems and roots, along with specialized transport systems like the xylem and phloem and the circulatory system. These systems help us exchange gases and nutrients with the environment and transport them to where they are needed within the body. In small organisms like bacteria, oxygen and nutrients can easily be transported into and around the organism by diffusion. This is because smaller organisms have a much larger surface area to volume ratio, whereas larger multicellular organisms have a relatively small surface area compared to a large volume. To get around the small surface area to volume ratio, large organisms have evolved exchange surfaces with large surface areas. For example, the lungs in mammals are highly branched, with air sacs called alveoli on the end of each branch. This increases the surface area and helps to increase the amount of space available for diffusion at any given time. You can watch this video about diffusion. The lungs have other adaptations to help increase the rate of diffusion of oxygen into the body and carbon dioxide out of the body. These adaptations include a short diffusion distance to the blood supply. It's a distance of just one cell. A good blood supply which maintains a concentration gradient. Lungs are also ventilated by breathing in and out to make sure there is a flow of air over the surface. Other surfaces, especially adapted for exchange, include the small intestines, which are highly folded to increase the surface area available for nutrient exchange into the blood. So what happens once the substances have diffused into the body? Well, they need to be transported around to get them to where they are needed quickly.
Even waste products like carbon dioxide and urea also need to be transported around the body.
In summary, to cope with a small surface area to volume ratio, which is inefficient at exchanging substances with the environment, large multicellular animals have evolved exchange services with large surface areas and short diffusion distances. This increases the rate of diffusion. Transport systems like the circulatory system are then used to move substances around the body.
If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Comment below if you have any questions.
So from the video started with an introduction on problems that arises when complex organisms such as plants, animals, and also humans try to get oxygen from the environment to all of our cells. So when compared to simple organism, we can see that the similarity is when we want to carry oxygen, when we want to conduct exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide, like we previously discussed in the previous chapter, in chapter 2, we know that the process required is diffusion. However, for simpler organisms, it is easier for them to conduct diffusion because simple organisms only have one cell. So the whole structure of a simple organism macam amoeba, the whole amoeba can conduct diffusion. Nak diffuse sebelah kiri boleh, kanan boleh, atas boleh, bawah pun boleh. But for us, in order to reach the alveoli, the air rich with oxygen have to go through nostril, trachea, and then bronchus, and then bronchiole, and all of these structures have a lot of cell. So, for us, complex organisms, since we have a lot of cell, we have to build specialized transport system to carry substances from the external environment into our body. For example, substances such as oxygen ke, nutrient ke, all of these substances have to be transported into our body. And at the same time, our body also uses these substances to conduct various metabolic processes. These metabolic processes produces a lot of waste material. From respiration, the waste material is carbon dioxide. From digestion, the waste material is urea. So how do we take out all of these waste materials out of our body? Because we need to eliminate this waste material, because when there is a high concentration of carbon dioxide in our body, carbon dioxide ni dia akan dissolve in water to become carbonic acid. Habis berasid darah kita kan? Urea pun sama. Urea is very toxic to our body. So we need to prevent both carbon dioxide and urea from accumulating in our body. So we need specific transport system to remove waste material. So I agree with Taufik, with Merlisa, with Danish. Siapa lagi yang tulis ni? Kejap ya, saya baca dulu. Okay. I agree with you when you said simple organism does not require specialized transport system, but complex organism require specialized transport system. Okay, itulah difference dia, kan? Difference dia, simple organism does not require specialized transport system, but complex organisms such as us need to have specific transport system. Why? Because simple organisms have only one cell. So all parts of its body are exposed to the external environment. Our body have a lot of cells. So not all cells are exposed to the external environment to conduct different types of diffusion of materials. For example, materials such as oxygen ke, or materials such as vitamins, minerals, and so on and so forth lah. Okay, so very good. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I can see Intan sudah mula menulis apakah beza antara simple organism. Saya nampak Intan mula menulis, Aisyah sudah mula menulis, Noah macam tak nak habis tu. Iman pun, okay. Taufik masih menulis lagi, dah panjang tu, dia tulis lagi. Okay, saya faham. Teruskan, nanti saya baca. Okay, so I agree with you. For question 1, the main difference is simple organism only have one cell. Complex organism have a lot of cell. Therefore, simple organism does not require transport system. Complex organism requires transport system. Okay. So soalan kedua dia adalah importance kan. So importance dia saya bersetuju. Okay, saya bersetuju dengan idea Taufik. Statement number 2 dia tu carry substances needed by the cells and carry substances needed by plant cells. Very good. And then sekejap ya, yang panjang ni. Siapa yang tulis yang panjang ni? Okay. The next one from Abdullah. Abdullah kata, eliminate transport system is required to eliminate toxic waste product from the cells to the external environment. Very good. Okay. Summarization daripada Noah Imran ni pun very good. Dia maksudkan ayat yang sama tapi ayat dia ringkas saja. Noah kata the function of transport system is to carry substances needed by the cells and waste products between complex organism and external environment. Okay, Noah Imran dia bagi rumusan kesemua sekali. Teruskan Noah Imran if you want to add more to your statement. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So bila kita cakap pasal complex organism ni, perbincangan kita bukanlah tertakluk kepada humans and animals saja ya. At the same time, we also talk about plants. So inside of plants, plants require specific transport system as well because plants are multicellular. Ada banyak sel yang membentuk plants. So specific transport systems is required by the plants to carry water from the roots to the leaves, and then the leaf conduct photosynthesis. They are photosynthetic product there. Ada glucose dihasilkan selepas fotosintesis kan. So the glucose should be transported to all parts of the plants, especially the growing parts lah. Growing parts such as where we can find the shoot, new fruit, new flower formation there. So glucose kena hantar pergi situ. And then another part that we need to, the plants need to transport glucose is the root, kan? Because the root serves as the storage area. So I give you around 1 minute to update your slide here. As usual, whatever you update here will be part of your notes. So question 1 is about difference between simple and complex organism. Question 2, there are at least 3 importance of transport system. If you can give at least one, that would be great. Kan? Kalau dapat kena pasti satu, itu adalah sangat baik. Okay, for the next part, we will take a look at blood circulatory system in different organism. Okay, blood circulatory system by different organisms, inside different organisms. Sekejap ya. Okay, nanti jangan risau, saya akan screenshot a few sample answer, okay? Okay, so this figure 3.3 is also available inside your textbook. I took this 4 figures from textbook. So the first one is fish circulatory system, blood circulatory system. The second one is frog. It's a frog's blood circulatory system. And the third one is reptile, and the fourth one is mammals and birds. So based on your observation, what are the similarities and differences between the 4 structure? Kalau boleh bagi similarity yang bukan dalam textbook. Dalam textbook tu similarity dah bagi satu similarity based on the structure. Apa yang keempat-empat circulatory system ada? Cuba kamu tengok. Okay, that is number 1. Number 2, in terms of difference, cuba cari difference in terms of structure. Tengok jantung dia. Apa yang sama dengan jantung dia? Apa yang tak sama pasal jantung dia, for example. Okay, you may start. Cuba tengok similarities. Apa komponen yang ada pada empat circulatory system? Apa organ yang ada yang wujud pada empat circulatory system? Fish pun ada organ ni, amphibian pun ada organ ni, reptile pun ada organ ni. Yang ni ayat textbook ni, panjang sangat ni. Tadi baru je Habak Mai, kalau boleh bukan textbook punya. Based on your observation. Boleh tak bagi similarities based on your observation? Tengok kat situ organ mana yang semua ada. Saya nak latih kamu kemahiran memerhati ni. Nanti nak masuk form 4, bukan masuk form 4 pun. Untuk form 3 ni pun kemahiran memerhati ni penting. Kalau kamu tak digest dan perhati diagram, macam mana nak jawab soalan kibat, kan? Okay, let's take a look. Ada tak yang berjaya? Okay, berjaya melihat. Oh, yang sama dia the whole circulatory system is. Okay, kita teruskan. Okay, this one. This one. Okay. All circulatory system consist of a heart, atrium and ventricle. Okay, good observation. Semua circulatory system ada jantung. Di dalam jantung tu ada atrium and ventricle. So kamu pilih salah satu. Semua circulatory system ada jantung ke atau semua circulatory system ada atrium dengan ventricle? Sebab dia benda yang sama ya. Heart, atrium dengan ventricle tu benda yang sama. Atrium dengan ventricle tu kita jumpa dalam jantung. Tapi this is a very good observation. Yes, it is a good similarity. All circulatory system have a heart. At least ada satu jantung kan. Okay, very good. Here's another one. All of the animals have capillaries, atrium and ventricle. Okay, dia tak cakap jantung tapi dia cakap atrium ventricle. Good. Boleh? All the animals have capillaries, atrium and ventricle. All circulatory system have atrium. Bagus. Good observation. All of the animals have atrium. Yes. Bagus. Okay, so I can see now your observation skill have increases. You have identified, semua pun ada jantung dan capillary kan? Semua pun ada jantung, have heart and capillaries. Okay, mari kita buat differences. Semua ada jantung. Siapa buat tanda soal ni? Sianya nanti. I go to you. Oh, dia dah padam. Okay, so untuk differences pula. Okay, tadi hampa dah nampak jantung, semua ada jantung. Tapi the heart of each animals are a bit different from each other. Cuba kamu tengok jantung ikan, amphibian, reptile dengan mammals. Cuba tengok dia punya, tengok kompartmen dia satu-satu. Mula-mula kamu bandingkan atrium. Cuba tengok atrium, ikan, amphibian, reptile dengan mammal. Apa yang berbeza pasal atrium mereka? Okay. Tadi kamu semua sebut kesemuanya ada atrium, kesemuanya ada ventricle. Tapi kalau kita tengok dengan lebih detail, ada slight difference. Kalau kita nak bandingkan ya. So, cuba tengok ikan, atrium dia macam mana? Amphibian, atrium dia macam mana? Reptile, macam mana? Apa yang berbeza? Mungkin berbeza dari segi saiznya ke, bilangan dia ke. Okay. Kita sekarang tengah buat difference ya. Kita move on to difference. Okay, kita move on to difference. Kejap ya. Saya nak tengok dekat summary semua orang. Okay. The fish only has one atrium. Okay, good observation. Cuba tengok amphibian. Ada berapa atrium yang dia ada? Very good. The fish has only one atrium. Clever. Okay, good observation. Melissa, boleh teruskan? So, fish ada one atrium. Hok lain ada berapa atrium? Cuba tengok. Sebab Melissa dia punya opening difference tu adalah bilangan atrium. Mari kita sambung. Okay, mari kita sambung. Okay. I can see. Ada orang dia kembangkan lagi idea Melissa tu. Melissa start dengan comparison pasal atrium kan. Ada orang, siapa ya ni? Dia start dia cakap pasal ventricle. Clevernya. Good observation lah. Oh, dia banding ventricle ya. Bagus-bagus. Teruskan, teruskan. Oh, Ifrah dia buat perbandingan. Okey, so cadangan saya ialah perbandingan atrium dengan ventricle tu kamu pecahkan kepada dua baris yang berbeza. So baris yang pertama, difference yang pertama kan, baris yang pertama kamu banding. Fish ada satu atrium. Amphibian ada dua atrium. Reptile ada berapa atrium? Birds and mammals ada berapa atrium? Kejap ya, cara kamu tulis difference ni boleh diperbaiki lagi ni. Okey. Kena apa? Kita tulis tu mestilah tulis dalam keadaan yang lengkap ya. Sekejap. Saya ada bagi berapa baris kat situ? 5 baris. At least kamu ada 5 difference. Kamu boleh jumpa 5 difference kat sini in terms of structure. Kembangkan lagi. Kamu dah jumpa difference in terms of bilangan atrium. Okay, the second one is difference in terms of number of ventricle. And then, okay, lepas ni, kita nak tengok pula difference dari segi struktur lain pula kan. Macam Ifrah dia bandingkan number of chambers atau bilangan ruang di dalam jantung. Number of chambers in the heart. Itu pun bagus juga. That is good observation juga tu. Okay, lagi kita cari lagi difference. Okay, sekejap ya. Okay. So, bila kita isikan table of differences, jangan isi kena isi ikut ruang setiap satu tu lah. So, satu atrium untuk amphibian. Lepas tu, dua atria. Sebab plural form is atria. Dua atria untuk reptile dan juga amphibians dan juga mammals. Okay, dua atria. And then untuk fish, dia ada, tadi ada yang dah jumpa dah, tapi dia isi satu je, one ventricle. And then dia untuk organism lain semuanya ada two ventricles kan, two ventricles. So kita tulislah plural form. Okey, inilah antara benda yang kita kena take note lah bila kita jawab dalam bahasa Inggeris, sebab dia ada singular form and plural form. Okey anak-anak, the first dengan second ni kamu dah jumpa, and then saya nak kembangkan lagi idea daripada Ifrah tadi. Ifrah kata, Ifrah compare number of chambers atau bilangan ruang dalam jantung. So ruang dalam jantung, ikan ada satu atrium, satu ventricle. So ruang dalam jantung dia ada two chambers kan, sebab satu atrium, satu ventricle. Okay, two chambers in heart. Okay, two chambers in heart. Okay. Okay, two chambers in the heart. And then dekat sini tadi, dekat amphibian tadi ada dua atrium, dua ventricle. So total chamber yang ada ialah 4. Okay, so kita tulis 4. Okay, kita tulis 4. Okay, and then terus sambung. Kan sebab reptile dengan birds dengan mammals tu sama kan. Terus sambung. Okay, itu number of chambers. Apa lagi differences yang kita boleh nampak? Okay, so cara Emilia tulis ni jelas. Kita boleh nampak perbezaan yang baik. Mari kita tengok. Okay, the next one. Okay. Cara Melina tulis ni pun cara yang baik. Okay, teruskan untuk chambers, number of chambers in the heart. Cara Taufik tulis ni, okay. Taufik tulis, okay, cara penulisan Taufik ini adalah differences dalam bentuk ayat yang juga diterima dalam penulisan sains. Cumanya, agak sayang kat sini sebab Taufik kamu combine 3 karakteristik dalam satu ayat. Sangat sayang ya. Setiap satu tu sepatutnya kamu pecahkan kepada 3 barulah dikira sebagai 3 poin yang berbeza. For example, difference number 1 kamu compare size saja. Difference number 2 kamu compare shape saja. Difference number 3 kamu compare number saja. Itulah cara kita menulis secara detail. Dan cara kamu tulis, kalau kamu tulis cara begini, memang kita akan pakai sampailah kamu nak tulis thesis, masters, PhD nanti. Kita detailkan difference tu satu-satu, Taufik. Kalau Taufik nak tulis macam ni, boleh tulis macam ni jika ruang yang disediakan tu ialah ruang teks yang ada garis-garis tu. Kalau soalan diberikan dalam bentuk table, tulis dalam bentuk table. Okey, lengkapkan dalam bentuk table. Sebab saya memang melihat dalam PT3 memang dia ada bagi soalan melengkapkan table. Tapi kalau Taufik nak tulis macam ni, dalam bio untuk SPM memang boleh. Tulis difference yang macam ni. Memang diterima dan digalakkan. Difference dalam bentuk ayat macam Taufik ni. Tapi sebab kamu masih level PT3, saya bagi table macam ni untuk mendedahkan kamu kepada PT3 dia bagi soalan lebih kurang macam ni. Okay? So Taufik, kamu boleh tingkatkan lagi details pada jawapan kamu dengan mengasingkan perbandingan size, shape and number tu. Size, shape and number. So size dia different sebab apa? Okay. Dan I would argue memanglah size berbeza sebab size organism berbeza. Even dalam same species pun size atrium tu berbeza, for example. So kena detailkan lagi. Kenapa kamu cakap size tu berbeza? Lepas tu ayat yang kedua kamu sebut fish only has 1, 2, 2 and 2. 2 apa? Tu apa? 1 atrium, 2 atria, 2 atria and 2 atria. Okay. Untuk untuk menunjuk nak kata apa ya? Untuk mengurangkan possibility yang examiner tak faham. Kamu punya difference tu kamu refer kepada siapa? Okay. Mengurangkan possibility untuk misconception of the examiner. And then okay. Dan ventricles tu pun boleh detailkan macam tu. So kalau nanti next time saya bagi soalan difference yang bentuk saya bagi ruang ayat, memang cantik lah kalau Taufik tulis macam ni. Memang level, memang O level punya jawapan, SPM level punya jawapan. Bagus. Okey, anak-anak, mari kita tengok pula difference yang keempat. Kita baru tengok dekat jantung kan? Kita tengok kat jantung. Okey, lepas jantung darah naik ke atas. Dalam jantung tu satu lagi ialah arrow kan? Arrow tu menunjukkan berapa kali darah masuk ke dalam jantung. So, kalau darah masuk sekali saja dalam jantung, kita panggil circulatory system tu sebagai single circulatory system. Single circulatory system. Kalau darah tu masuk sekali je dalam jantung. Kalau darah tu masuk ke dalam jantung 2 kali. So dia adalah double circulatory system. Okay. Double versus single circulatory system. Cuba kamu tengok antara empat-empat tu, mana satu yang single circulatory system, yang mana satu double circulatory system. Siapa yang double circulatory system, siapa yang single? Okey, Namia dah dapat dah kat situ. Namia kata fish adalah single. Okey. Fish tak ada jodoh. Bukan sebab fish tak ada jodoh ya, tapi sebab darah hanya mengalir dalam jantung ikan sebanyak 1 kali sahaja. Bukan sebab dia tak bertemu jodoh. Okay, and then untuk amphibian darah masuk berapa kali? Double. Yes, sebab dalam amphibian ada arrow masuk, lepas tu ada arrow keluar kan? Okay. Dalam Google Meet saya lampirkan apa cara Namia tulis differences in terms of circulatory system. Boleh follow cara Namia ni? Okay, very good Namia. Circulatory system dah settle. Okay, itu regarding arrow. Okay, cuba kamu tengok lagi sekali dalam jantung. Okay, kamu tengok lagi sekali dalam jantung kan. Ada different colours lah. Ada colours warna, ada certain organism. Ada certain organisms, darah dia warna biru muda, merah, lepas tu jadi purple. Tapi ada organisms yang maintain warna biru dengan warna merah. Cuba kamu tengok dalam jantung, ni cerita dalam jantung lagi ya. Kita tak buat lagi differences kat tempat lain. Kita buat differences kat jantung dulu. Cuba kamu tengok jantung, ada jantung yang hanya ada one blood type only. Ada jantung yang ada 3 jenis blood type. Oh ya, betul. Number of ventricle 1 saja untuk amphibian dan reptile. Nanti Namia betulkan ya? Oh, saya tak perasan. Nanti Namia betulkan ya? Okay. Saya pun tak perasan. Thank you. Good observation. Thank you for pointing that out. Apa ya nak sebut tadi? Cuba tengok jantung, amphibian, reptile, mammals and also fish. Warna purple tu wujud, darah warna purple tu wujud because there is a mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. However, not all organisms have purple blood. So, which one, when we compare, which organism have separation of different types of blood? Okay, saya ulang. If you take a look at the heart of different organisms, we can see some organisms have purple blood. The blood is purple in color. The purple blood exists because there is a mixing between oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. So, which organisms have separate, does not have mixing of different types of blood? Which blood circulatory system separate different types of blood? Ada tak? Okay, ni dia dah ada satu lagi difference ni. Melissa dah nampak? Okay, bagus. Okay, sekejap. Dia nampak dah capillaries inggis tu. Sabar. Kita kat jantung lagi. Okay. Ifrah dia dah nampak. Dalam fish, blood does not mix, but inside the amphibian and reptile, both heart, inside both hearts, they are mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, but in birds and mammals, the blood does not mix. Okay. Ifrah kena betulkan ya, dalam reptile dia masih kira ada satu ventricle ya. Nanti betulkan ya. Okay. Tapi blood mixing tu betul ya. Dalam fish, blood does not mix. There is a separation between oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Untuk amphibian and reptile, there is no separation between oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. And in human, there is a separation between oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Okay. Habis dah cerita pasal, cop. Ada satu lagi kita boleh cakap pasal jantung. Banyak betul kita boleh cakap pasal jantung kan. Yang berkaitan dengan mixing of blood tadi. Kenapa dalam mammals and birds there is no mixing of blood? Apa struktur yang dalam jantung mammal ada, tak ada pada jantung fish, amphibian dengan reptile? Apakah struktur yang ada dalam human and mammals, dalam jantung human and mammals, tapi tak ada dalam jantung reptile, tak ada dalam jantung amphibian? Disebabkan mammals and birds ada struktur ni lah, oxygenated blood dengan deoxygenated blood tak bercampur. Apakah beliau? Start dengan huruf S. Apakah ia? Okey, kalau tak jumpa lagi tak apa. It's okay. Kita pergi ke septum. Iman dah jumpa dah. Septum. So siapa yang ada septum? Siapa yang tak ada septum? Itu difference yang seterusnya kan? Okay, Iman dah tulis dah situ septum. So I can see your answer. Okay, you can update difference yang seterusnya. Septum ada ke tak? Ziyad, Saif, Umar, Mas ni tak tulis lagi ni. Danish tadi macam tulis dah. Okay, and then saya perasan ada yang compare the upper part of each circulatory system, iaitu capillaries in gills, capillaries in lungs, and the other three tu capillaries in lungs. Okay, saya bersetuju dengan observation tersebut dengan sedikit penambahbaikan. Cadangan saya, if you want to mention pasal circulatory gills and capillaries tu, itu adalah difference between the place where gaseous exchange occurs. So if you want to add capillaries in, macam saya rasa kat Melissa kot dia tulis. Okay, macam Melissa dia dah tulis capillaries in gills, capillaries in lungs and skin, capillaries in the lungs, capillaries in the lungs. Cadangan saya Melissa, tambah sikit kat situ, gas exchange occurs in this part. Gas exchange in gills, gas exchange in lung and skin, gas exchange in lungs, gas exchange in lungs. Okay, so kena tambah sikit kat situ. Kenapa atas tu gills, lung and skin, lung dengan lung? Sebab dia nak tunjukkan perbezaan dari segi tempat pertukaran gas berlaku. So kita kena tambah sikit. Gas exchange occurs in gills of fish. Gas exchange occurs in the lungs and skin for amphibian. Gas exchange occurs in the lungs for reptile. And gas exchange occurs in the lungs for birds and mammals. Alright. Melissa ni rasanya tinggal nak tambah apa ya? Boleh yang single circuit blood flow tu, saya faham, saya faham. Sebab kamu nak kata pulmonary dengan sistemik ke? Oh, sangat advance ni. Okay, mungkin Melissa nak refer kepada pulmonary and systemic flow. So itu saya abaikan dulu. Okay. So difference yang terakhir kita boleh letak pasal kewujudan septum tadi ya. Okay, sebab kita nak buat difference totally based on this diagram. So kalau kamu sebut systemic dengan pulmonary, kamu nak sebut macam kewujudan systemic and pulmonary flow kat sini boleh, tapi sebab kita tak belajar lagi kan, so saya excuse, saya berikan discount, tak sebut pun tak apa kat sini lah sebab tak belajar lagi. Okay, now, alamak dah 11.20 dah. Okay, now we take a look at human blood circulatory system. So when we talk about blood circulatory system, as you mentioned before, circulatory system mesti ada pump. So the pump of our system is the heart. Number one. Number two, mesti ada vessel. Mesti ada salur. So the vessels are vein, artery and capillary. And when we have the pump and also the vessel atau ada salur, so dua-dua ni nak salurkan apa? Nak pump apa? Dia pump medium, which is the blood. So circulatory system have three main components. Number one is the heart. Number two is the vessel. Number three is the medium, which is blood. Heart, vessel and blood. Vessel ni ada pecahan dia lagi, iaitu ada artery, ada vein and ada capillary. Untuk blood pula, nanti kita akan tengok there are different components of the blood. Ada red blood cell, ada white blood cell dan macam-macam lagi. Kan? Okey. Sekarang ni kita nak tengok jantung. So kita berkenalan dulu dengan struktur jantung. Okay, this is the a cross section of the heart. Can you identify, can you bring your fish to the correct structure? The green one is the left atrium, the blue one is the left ventricle, the yellow one is the right atrium, the black fish is referring to right ventricle, and the purple structure is the septum. Boleh bawa tak? Bawa ikan pi berenang Sat? Label Sat pada cross section jantung tu? Bawa. Okay, silakan. Mari kita tengok siapa yang belum bawa ikan dia lagi. Ziyad, Saif, Danish, Mas. 5 orang ni, 4 orang ni belum bawa ikan berenang lagi. Bawa. Aisyah, belum lagi bawa tu. Okey ya. Mari kita tengok kedudukan ikan-ikan kelas 3 lunar ni betul ke tak betul ke? Betul ke tak betul? Betul, insya-Allah. Okey. Now, ini satu sampel jawapan. Sebab tadi banyak sangat ikan kan sampai tak nampak beza structure tu, tak apa. Okey, right. Cuba tengok dekat Google Meet. Okey, position right atrium betul. Position right ventricle betul. Left atrium betul. Left ventricle betul. Septum betul. Okay, very good. Alisa. Okay, very good Alisa. Your positions are correct. Okay, semua orang dah berjaya mengenal pasti the chambers. The chambers inside our heart. Ruang-ruang pada kita punya jantung and ventricle, the chambers ventricles are separated by a structure called septum. Bahagian ventricle tu diasingkan oleh dinding septum. Okay. Now, ada satu lagi structure yang kita kena kenal. Apa dia? Kita kena kenal the position of different valve. Boleh tak bawa ikan berenang untuk label valve? Okay, where are the valves? Okay, dekat mana valve? Wow, banyaknya ikan berenang-renang. Okey. Dia yang tricky sikit bicuspid dengan tricuspid lah. Semilunar valve tu memang ada 2 semilunar valve. Tu kamu nak letak dekat kiri ke, dekat kanan ke, tak kisahlah. Dua-dua tu adalah label yang sama. So no worries. Okey. Nah, sorry, yang warna purple tu kan saya tukar jadi warna dark blue ya. Saya tersilap. Saya sediakan ikan warna dark blue pula. Okey, ikan warna dark blue tu untuk semilunar valve ya. I'm so sorry. Saya lupa nak tukar pula, nak tukar color dia tadi. Allahu Akbar. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Okay, let's see here. One sample answer. Okay, let's see one sample answer over here. Mari kita lihat sampel answer ini. Okay, bicuspid valve kat mana? Tricuspid valve kat mana? Sekejap ya. Okay, check dulu. Bicuspid valve kat mana? Tricuspid valve kat mana? Okay. Bawa kamu punya ikan tu betul-betul atas valve ya. Betul-betul atas valve. Okay. Tak nampak dia atas valve. Okay. Sekejap ya. I can see here. Okay. I can see here. Dah refresh baru nampak. Okay. Okay, dah refresh baru nampak. Okay, here is a sample answer over here dan pastinya kamu pun dah siap lukis. Okay. Sekejap ya. Satu lagi berkaitan dengan bicuspid dengan tricuspid ni. Bicuspid dengan bicuspid ni juga dikenali sebagai mitral valve ya. Kalau kamu jumpa mitral valve, Itu maksud dia bicuspid lah. Okay. So tricuspid valve is on the right side of the heart. So tricuspid valve mengasingkan right atrium dan right ventricle. Bicuspid valve is on the left side. It is located between left atrium and left ventricle. Okay, the position that Intan show us here for semilunar valves are also correct. Okay, kedudukan dia adalah antara ventricle dengan pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein. Okay anak-anak, basically today we have make comparison between different types of circulatory system dan kita berkenalan dengan the cross section of the heart. So I would like to have your reflection regarding today's activity. Okay. If you have any part that you need for me to re-explain, please put it under what was hard. So that is the end of our class today. Sorry terambil extra 1 minit. Sekian, wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for coming.